Hey everyone, so today we're going to be making these three simple spring DIYs, and I got the stuff from Dollar Tree, Walmart, and just stuff laying around the house. So we're going to start with this bear sign, and I got this sign from Dollar Tree, and all I'm doing is painting over it with black chalk paint and just making sure that it's super opaque, and yep, that's it. And we're just painting the whole thing. Because if you're doing a farmhouse style, you can't do it without chalk paint. There we go. So just nice and covered, and you can paint it in any color, of course. I just kind of wanted a chalkboard look. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to go around the edges with just some gold metallic paint that I had laying around. I think it's Anita's acrylics. I get it from Hobby Lobby, but I think Dollar Tree has paints. My Dollar Tree doesn't have too much stuff. And then I just have like a lot of crafts around anyway. And I'm just going around all the edges, and metallic paint is a little bit more transparent than just solid colors. And so I'm just putting like a thick coat on there, just for something a little bit more interesting than just the black paint. And then I got some on the edges, and so I decided to just roll with it and kind of like used a really dry brush and added gold all the way like across the bear, but keeping it really dry so that it was even more transparent. This would look really good with white chalk paint because then it would look like you erased chalk from the chalkboard. But I used gold just because it's shiny and pretty. And then I'm just taking some twine and gonna go around the edges. Chalk paint and twine, nothing is more farmhouse. And this takes some doing, so just, watch your fingers and slowly go around, just putting tiny dots of hot glue all the way around the bear. And then between his legs is kind of tricky, so be super careful, but it's not too bad. And this twine I got from, I think I got it from Home Depot like forever ago, but Dollar Tree also has twine, and they also have nautical rope, which might look good, but it would probably be kind of hard to get in between the legs and all the little details with that because it's pretty thick. But just use whatever you have like around. You could even use there's all kinds of like ribbon and all sorts of stuff. I just wanted something else going on around him because this is a really simple project and I wanted it to look not so simple. And then once you get to the end, just give it a cut. I did a little bit of an angular cut so that it would mesh with the beginning of my twine. Then I got this chalk paint pen from Dollar Tree. I was really surprised mine had it. And it's really neat because it actually does look like chalk, whatever you write on. And so that's pretty cool. It has a really big tip, so it's hard to write small with it. So just keep that in mind with whatever project you're doing. You could also just use paint, but I'm not very good at writing things with paint. So a pen is way better for me. And then I added some hearts and it's basically done. But I saw this phrase on a sign at Hobby Lobby and it's one of those things where it's I could just make that. And so I did. For $2. And here it is. You can see all the dry gold, how the paint pen looks, and it just looks like a cute little chalkboard sign. For our next project, I'm going to be making a sheep garland out of felt, and I actually had this idea while I was at Dollar Tree. They had little felt cutout pieces to make your own sheep, and instead of buying it, though it would only be $1, of course, I remembered I had a bunch of felt at home. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking white and black felt, and I cut out a little pattern from paper. It's just kind of cloud shaped, because I knew if I did it freehand they wouldn't come out as like thick and fluffy as I want them to. And so I'm just using the pattern to kind of make them all the same-ish size and as thick as I want, and I'm using way too big of scissors. Yeah, I'm just making the bodies right now. And then I'm just doing the same for the head. Like, I drew out a cute little head that fit with the body proportions. It's just a cloud. But yeah, just to make sure everything's kind of the same size. And to be honest, I'm sort of basing these sheep off one of the new Pokemon. So if you're into Pokemon and you know who Wooloo is, then shout out. And I think I made 6 of them, and so it's just the same process for all of them. I made all the heads, and I'm just gluing them to the bodies real quick, just one at a time. And then I'm kind of flipping the bodies around for a little bit of variety. And then I also made little, you can see on top of their heads, there's like another little white poof. I did the same thing like I did with the body, just made it smaller. And now I'm just taking some pink acrylic paint and painting on little noses. They kind of look like hearts or like a little V. And you want a couple layers of paint because the felt really soaks it up. And just going over them several times, kind of waiting for it to dry a little bit and then going back over so that it's really opaque. See? Then I'm taking white chalk paint and doing the rest of the face. So like right now I'm just doing a little like smiley mouth, just something really cute, and then also eyes. And I'm not a super good painter at all, so their eyes are closed and they just have a happy face. Super, super simple. Then I took a long piece of twine, the same twine I used for the bear, and I'm just gluing the backs of the sheep onto the twine to make a garland. I didn't really space them out too great, and I probably should have made an odd number of sheep, so keep that in mind so you had a clear middle, but it doesn't super matter. And then I took some ribbon that I had. I actually got this at a craft store where they take donations, is how they run. So this ribbon was like, I don't even remember, like 25 cents or something ridiculous, but I got it a couple years ago and it's just been sitting around, and I thought this garland could use something else besides just the sheep. It was a little boring. And so I cut strips of the ribbon and then cut those strips in half because it's a little thick, and then that way it fills it out better. And I'm just gluing the middles together, like folding it in half and gluing it down all across the twine in between all of the sheep. Super, super simple, super, super easy. And like I said, I had everything at home, so this cost nothing. And here it is all finished. It's hanging in my window still right now. Super cute. You can hang it across the mantle anywhere you want. Our last craft today is gonna be this rabbit wreath that I just kind of came up with. And I got these 2 twig wreaths from Walmart, and I wanted to get them from Dollar Tree, but mine didn't have those bamboo wreaths that they have. So you can even make this more cost effective if you find those. So I ended up getting these twig ones. I think they were about $5 each. And I'm connecting them with some floral wire that I also got at Walmart. And I'm just spinning the one piece of wire around and then using pliers to wrap it around itself for a stronger hold. And I used a couple pieces of them just to make sure it would stay, and probably some hot glue in the middle. Now for the ears, I'm taking 2 pieces of floral wire, as you can see, and twisting the tops of them together to make the point of the ears. You can see I already made the left one in this, and I'm putting the right one on. And so it's 2 pieces of wire, and then I'm just wrapping each half, I guess, around the top of the rabbit's head. And just kind of making like a basic ear shape. Then taking this burlap ribbon that I got from Dollar Tree and wrapping that around to make the rest of the ear so you can see it. I think in the future what I would do is take 2 pieces of floral wire for each half instead of 1, and wrap 4 together just to make them more stable. But these work fine, and they're still up now and holding together. And I'm just wrapping the ribbon around and giving it a little bit of glue so that it'll stay put. And there you go. You got the ears. And I had a little bit of leftover ribbon from the ends of one of the ears. And so I just folded it in thirds, and I'm wrapping twine around the middle to make a little bow. I don't like having any kind of leftover scraps. Like, I would hate to throw it away if I could use it. And then giving it all the excess a little bit of a trim, and I'm gonna glue it on to the right ear and right side of the head here in a sec. There we go, boom. And so just like an easy little piece of detail that you can add. Then I'm taking this carrot, so cute, carrot house from Dollar Tree. They have a bunch of like fairy garden type stuff right now, and this was one of my favorite little houses, and it works because it's a rabbit. And so I used super glue and hot glue to glue that down and held it for a few minutes. So make sure that is really on there before you lay it back down, otherwise it'll pop right off. Now I'm using a bunch of moss that I got at Dollar Tree. It's just the loose moss versus the they have like sheets of moss. But I really liked this pack because the moss looks really good, and you get like pieces of like pine cone and stuff in there. And I thought it was like really great for a nature, more natural kind of effect. Like you just found this wreath in the woods or something. I also got these little fake moss rocks. There you can see them at the bottom of the screen. And I'm gluing those around with the moss again, just to add to that kind of like natural effect. And it's really just like picking some off, and remember it's loose, so watch your fingers as you're gluing. But picking some off of the pile and just gluing it around wherever it looks kind of natural. I wanted to show the whole process here so you can kind of see it like being built out, and like my process for doing this, because I don't really plan it out beforehand. I just kind of dive in and go. And it's like, oh, if that looks good, it looks good. If not, well, it's stuck on there. But I think it turned out pretty good. And then just adding the rocks, quote unquote rocks, every so often. They're super lightweight. I think they're made out of like foam or something, styrofoam. Yeah, they weigh nothing, which is great for this kind of a project. And just gluing and smushing, gluing and smushing. But what's cool too is you get the green moss and like kind of this tan colored moss, and then like I said, also the little like pine cone pieces. So it's kind of neat the variety you get for $1. And it ended up being just enough. I only had to get 1 pack of it, which is great. Some of the pine cone pieces look like kind of like little flowers, like they look like they're petals, and so they're really pretty and neat looking. Very interesting. It's all about the detail. And then now I'm finally adding the flowers I got. So again, my Dollar Tree doesn't have too much stuff. So a lot of these picks are from Walmart. They were about $1 each, I think, but a couple of them are from Dollar Tree. So just whatever your stores have, you know, whatever you think looks nice. But I really wanted like just a lot of greenery and then like some lavender and stuff. And so my Walmart had a ton of that kind of stuff. So that's what I got there. And this I'm doing pretty symmetrical just because that's how my brain works. And I'm just taking the picks apart and cutting the stems where I need to with the like wire cutter ends of pliers, and just snipping them to size and giving them a little bit of hot glue and stuffing them in the twigs wherever they look good. And I am planning a little bit right here by making sure they look nice where I want them before gluing them in. But again, I would kind of recommend like placing all your flowers where you want beforehand, so you really get them exactly the look you want. But I just kind of go ham and put them wherever, sort of, as long as it's symmetrical. And so these picks that I'm cutting right now, these are the ones from Dollar Tree. They have like kind of like a twig look, and they have like these little like white fuzzy ends. I don't know what kind of flower they're supposed to be. I have no idea. But I think they look really nice with the twig wreaths, because it kind of looks like the twigs are like popping out a little bit and have these like little doodads growing out of the ends of them. And I definitely got too many flowers, but hopefully I can just use them for a future project. But I do use most of them on the wreath. I was going to do, you can see there on the left, the carrots and the eggs. I was going to do like a overly like kind of Easter themed wreath, but I really liked, as you can see, I really liked how this natural kind of look turned out. And so I didn't want to like cheese it up with eggs and carrots and stuff. I did add that bow afterwards. I lost the footage, but with that same ribbon I used for the ears and stuff. I just made a bow, and I did glue one of my carrots in the middle of it just to use one of them. But you can see all the cool moss and everything. I think it looks so neat and natural and just so nice. Thanks for watching.